Welcome, everyone. We have a very special episode for you today. Without any much more delay, let's get to the wavelength. Let's jump on to the wavelength where the conversation with Skyler, my best friend, took place.
Fantastic. So, what's it like overdosing on fentanyl?
That's a good opener.
Yeah.
It was wild, to be honest. I was having problems with addiction. As addicts do, they lie, they hide it. I had 2 pills, right? And I took one and I didn't feel it for some reason. And then I took the other half. And next thing you know, I kind of like black out a little bit. And for some reason, I decided to go out to the car and smoke a bowl, right? And when I got out there, sorry, it's affected me a little bit because I don't usually talk about it.
Yeah.
And I just felt my heart, and I was like, I'm dying. Like I could feel it. Like I could feel it. So at that point, I had blacked out, and somehow I managed to go upstairs and talk to my girlfriend, and she knew something was up. And I don't remember it, but I passed out, fell off the bed onto the floor, and yeah. Next thing I knew, I woke up to paramedics over me. I knew what had happened instantly. I was awake. They Narcaned me twice. She said my lips were blue. Yeah, they took me in the back of an ambulance to the hospital. My mother came all the way from Louisville. And, yeah, that was that. That was the day I decided to get sober. Yeah.
Was that the last time? Because didn't you tell me it happened more than once? Or was that... Am I misremembering?
When I used to use, man, I used fentanyl and heroin specifically for 5 years. And then opioids for 7. All that, you know. But, yeah, I mean, there are nights where I passed out and I don't remember anything, but who knows what happened. You know, I didn't die.
Did you ever pass out drunk?
Oh, yeah.
So you blacked out?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of correlation between those two blacking outs? Is there any kind of like, is blacking out drunk anything like blacking out on fentanyl or anything like that? Do you do different shit?
I mean, you're blacking out, man. You don't know. You know you blacked out. It's hard to remember those things.
That's a good point. Well.
I mean, the highs are different. Obviously, getting drunk and then doing opioids those two things are a little different, but you're still getting high.
Yeah.
You're poisoning your body. It's not good for you.
So what, like, where were your parents in this scenario?
Well, it all started really when I went to one of my buddy's houses, and I was having problems at home, and I decided to stay there for a week. We were partying for a week. This dude came over. He became one of my best friends for a while. He stabbed me in the back for drugs.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. But that's how it all started.
With that fellow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I do want to, I guess I'll take this opportunity to be like, I still think, remember that conversation we had outside of work?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I still think that there's a capacity within you to reach a point where you're like, yeah, whatever. Are you still like where you were at then in that conversation when we had it?
Yeah and no. I mean, I took into account what you said that night, and Yeah, I agree with you. It's better to forgive people because we're all humans. You know, we all go through different things, but I mean, it doesn't change what happened. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't change the fact that if you saw him, you wouldn't still feel like doing something.
Yeah. Stab me. We were brothers. You know what I mean? And I mean, we were homeless together.
Yeah.
We were homeless together. We lived inside my car together. You know what I mean? We did everything together, and then one day that happened. You know, it's crazy. That's what happens when you have addiction problems.
What exactly happened? I know you've told me, but what exactly?
He stole all my money. We were homeless, and we basically built our lives from the ground up. Like, yeah, we both got addicted. We were both addicts. Yeah, you know, but we were surviving together. We were doing everything together.
Trying to be functioning addicts.
Trying to function. Yeah, and then one day, he just got into my bank account and stole everything.
Because he had the opportunity.
Lied to my face when he did it and told me he didn't do it.
Weren't you out doing something?
Yeah, I was out at a music concert with my father, and that's when he decided to do it. He was a psychopathic liar. Yeah.
Do you think someone like that has the opportunity to have a comeback like you had a comeback?
If a psychopath can heal, maybe, and he can. I mean, there's gonna be a lot. There are people here that hate him. Yes. So he's. I mean, I know people are gonna see this, but I mean, maybe some people here know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say his name.
Right. Don't matter. Go ahead, dude.
But that's what happened. And I mean, it is what it is.
I think when I say all that stuff, it's also coming from like obviously a psychedelic realm. It comes from elsewhere, and it also kind of feel like it comes from up there to the left. But when I talk about that stuff, it's one of those things. I feel like recently I heard a description about it that made a lot of sense to me. It was something like there's the version of you before taking, and it's I guess in this stance it could be psychedelics or DMT. In this case, I would say DMT because there's a difference in the ones that you've taken and this one, in my opinion, obviously. But
yeah.
There is, however, dimethyltryptamine in mushrooms. So I guess that's where my argument starts to fall apart. However,
another different experience.
There is still a different experience.
I've never done DMT.
Yeah, and when I think, you know, my formulation of this argument or opinion comes from a place affected by that solely, whereas I still have done mushrooms and acid. DMT has done something special that none of those other ones have done yet. They probably haven't had the opportunity, obviously, like DMT has. But that thing where I'm like, I do think you have the capacity of that within you comes from me being able to observe myself and realize I am far bigger and far crazier and more complex of a creature than I ever thought before. Yeah. And you are too. Because
you're able to delve into deeper parts of your mind.
In ways that I didn't ever think was possible. Like that trip where I saw myself, like a future version of myself. Did I ever tell you about that one? I know I've talked about it on the podcast. I saw a version of myself.
Actually,
I think it was a version of myself in the future. And I remember traveling through a portal, seeing him as a centerpiece of this like beautiful tile artwork behind him, and he just smiled at me. Don't know why. Kind of fucking freaky. Because like, it's really strange to like fly in a spirit version of yourself through a tunnel that feels like it took time, but was also instantaneous. So time was very strange here. Mm-hmm. And then I popped through that portal. There I am looking at him. He's right there. I in that place, like you are here right now, and right now with me, and yeah, it's still kind of dreamlike in a weird way. So when I talk about that shit, like, I don't know how I come to the opinions that I do now, where I'm like, you can forgive someone even though no one's ever done that kind of shit to me, man. I don't know how to. I can't really like. It kind of feels like selfish for me to say that you can forgive someone like that when it's never happened to me in that way. But I suppose it is still somewhat part of my job to be that kind of agent of change and be like, you got it.
That's what I like about
I guess we gotta try, guys. We've gotta, cause like there may come a moment when their life is in our hands, and I don't want to see you become murdered. I don't know. That sounds really dramatic, but I don't literally think it would be that way. And it's not like, and I also don't like that. Still is a little too serious. I don't want to see you become a murderer. If something happened to the person that you didn't like, I don't know. We won't talk about that.
If you can,
But I'd be there for you. Let's just say it like that. I'd be there for you. And
I'll dap you up on that one.
yes, sir. But I'd be there, and you know, to the extent that I could help without detrimenting my own life. And I'd be like, let's figure this out.
That's not gonna happen. It's over.
I don't think that would ever happen. But just like, you know, when I say we could come to the, who knows what the future holds for us. You may have the opportunity where it's not less traumatic than that, but still very much that person's life at stake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're different than they were back then.
If they came to apologize to me right now, I'd take it for what it is and forgive them. I mean, I'd still hold that against them.
A couple ounces of salt with it, maybe, instead of a pinch.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, firm talk. Yeah.
So, 2 times. Did you ever have any issues with any other hardcore drugs?
Yeah, I would say. I was pretty bad on cocaine.
Really? Did you tell me that? I don't know. That's interesting. What's that like?
Fun.
Does it wire you?
Yeah. You get really energized. Get shaky if you do too much. It's a lot. It's not like, good for you.
So it's like coffee? Good. It's like coffee. Because that's like coffee to me. Like, if I have too much coffee, I'm like...
Times 100 or 1,000, yeah.
I don't know, man. I've had a couple coffees and felt like I was gonna die.
I mean, if you do too much, yeah, that's kind of how you feel, bro. Yeah, shit's wild. It's not good for you.
I imagine it does feel very different. I'm just fucking around. But, that's interesting. Yeah, I remember one time I snorted something. Sorry, Mom, Dad. But, you know, I did it. Hi. They'll watch it, you know. I think they're hyped for this one.
You guys are awesome. You raised an awesome son.
Oh, wait. I try hard. We try. But, yeah, man. Okay, now, let's get into the realm we're both very familiar with. It's the psychedelic. Really cool.
Sure.
I want to rehash that, the mushroom trip that you told me about a few times. Yeah, you told me about it a few times, and there's a few things I think I can dive into, about that. Maybe, I suppose the first thing that comes to mind is the lady in the ceiling. Yeah, what was up with that? Was she pole dancing?
Yep. I don't know why.
Was she a certain color?
So it was just one of these ceilings, popcorn ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I sat down on the couch. For some reason, I don't know. I was going through a lot that night.
How many grams?
I think I bought like 8 to 10 grams that night, and I think I ate the whole bag.
So
it was a Walmart bag, and it was about
safe bet.
That big, balled up.
Safe bet, 8 grams.
8 to 10 grams. And for some reason, like, I ate them, and I was like, I don't feel anything. I don't know why I did it, but I ate the rest of them. And it's just...
Didn't wait long enough?
Yeah, I didn't wait long enough. And I sat down, and I looked up at the ceiling, and it started hitting me. And the popcorn, like, ceiling, like, the little things that came down, started swirling, and it formed into a lady. And she started pole dancing to the ceiling, right? And I was just mesmerized. It was insane. It was insane.
Which is beautiful.
It was just a shadow.
What?
Yeah, well, like, there was no form. It was just a shadow. It was
But you
really
could
just
see
a
it like
shadow.
overlaid on the ceiling, kind of like a projection.
Yeah, kind of like a projection. Yeah.
So I always thought, okay, that's interesting. I always was picturing it when you told me this, like she was actually like, like the ceiling maybe transformed into her, and it was like a sculpture-esque thing. And my brain was going off. I don't know, but
It was literally the popcorn swirling into a woman.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Like the particulates forming an image.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. and
Okay.
My jaw dropped. I was mesmerized, and then the couch.
Was
ate
it? And then the couch ate
me.
you.
Yeah.
Was the woman sensual or sexual in any kind of way? Was it like
I mean,
it was a pole
the dance
dancer? Was it dancing in an erotic fashion?
Dance was, yeah. I'd say so.
And then the couch ate you.
Yeah, then the couch ate me.
So
And
how
as
does
soon
that?
as that happened, bro, I shot up, bro. I shot up, and then bad trip.
Bad trip again.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I dropped something.
oh, let's check. Nope. Maybe it's behind you in the seat. Hit the crow button. Hit the song 2 button, song 1. Now, also, this is probably done for you, so you go try it.
Thank you, sir.
And yes, sir. Pops, bro. Let's see. I am not a sponsor. However, if you wanted to sponsor me, that would be fantastic. Sponsor for this episode is Raspberry Element. That's not a Raspberry Element water bottle. However, there's Raspberry Element in there. An H2 tab. Gary Brecka, Ultimate Human. Very good. Fantastic. Yeah, we all approved. Skyler approved. Alright. Anyway, do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, I like
It is
it.
good.
I like that little tang, that saltiness.
Yeah, I can taste it.
Yeah.
That would be so good at work, bro.
Yeah, I like it because whenever you get going and things, especially your muscles, get a little. I don't know if they necessarily get sore, but they don't have to be sore for you to want to drink some of that and feel good.
Hmm.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the psychedelics. How many times have you done mushrooms?
Handful of times. I'd probably say like 7 to 10 times. Not too much.
That's a lot. That's a good bit.
I've delved into it.
And was that the most you've ever done?
Yes. 100%. That was a crazy trip, bro.
Would you see yourself doing that much again ever? In a better setting?
No, probably not.
Would you trust your brother and do it
It was
with me?
just so intense that
Huh?
I don't know, man. I literally I forced myself to go to sleep. Like probably like 30 minutes into the trip.
30
Yeah,
minutes.
like 30 minutes.
When
into
you
the
started
trip.
to peak?
When I started to peak, I forced myself to go to sleep.
Did you have weird dreams? Did
I
you
don't remember. I just woke up.
That is
It was so intense. I couldn't ride the wave, and I was dealing with a lot at the time. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
but I still love me so much. So
And now, one of the things, you saw like a blanket on the ground that looked like a friend, right?
Mhm. I walked into the room that I was staying in at the time, my friend's house, apartment, and I saw them dead on the floor, and that's when I started to freak out. You know, and the person I was calling at the time had hung up on me because
Yeah.
I was freaking out, and it's just kind of like
That made you spiral, I bet. Made it worse
Yeah, it did.
when you
Yeah.
just couldn't have anywhere to turn.
Mhm.
Somebody help.
My mind was racing at 1,000 miles an hour, so I just decided to lay down. You know,
That's a good idea. That's
I
a
didn't have a trip
life-saving
sitter.
idea.
I didn't have a trip sitter. I just closed my eyes and forced myself to go to sleep.
I can only imagine what you probably like experienced in just the time where your eyes are closed before you actually maybe fell asleep and things became dreamland.
I do remember, kind of, like I just saw swirls when I closed my eyes, but like, I do remember the feeling that I felt at the time. It was way too much. Like,
Well-
there's some people out there that might be able to do that, but for me, it was intense.
think I'm one of those people.
Out of everybody I know, you might be one of those people.
I might be one of those people who does 10 and then looks for the DMT pen at the peak. Because I'm excited to experiment.
And trips it for you, brother.
That would be amazing. Also, I've been doing a lot of research about Suboxone that you take, and listening to stuff about it, and about opioid addiction, and about Ibogaine.
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard about Ibogaine?
I've heard good things about how addicts will take it, and they're like, it helped me deal with my addiction. I mean, you can't really, like, once you're an addict, you can't really ever cure it. You're always an addict. But there's ways to heal properly. And there's ways to forget about it and get over your trauma. You know what I mean? And I've heard Ibogaine can be, for some people, a good way to do that, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's all I've heard about it.
I have personally...
And that is a psychedelic.
It is a psychedelic. It is... Now, oftentimes, I would tell people that DMT is the most powerful psychedelic. I'm beginning to question that with things that I hear about Ibogaine.
Well, there's other stuff out there, bro.
I know. There's 5-MeO DMT. That's different than DMT that I am used to.
Mm-hmm.
That has an oxygen molecule attached to it, and it comes from a toad. It's a venom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I've heard about that.
And what's different about that, I hear, is that whereas with a DMT trip, it's kind of like this flash of everything. All these colors, all these things, all these shapes, all these amazing, wonderful things. So many different things can happen. Whereas the one with the oxygen molecule, MEO DMT, is kind of the absence of everything. Everything just goes white. It's almost like a true death, I think some people have said. It's like where you really feel like you died. And what?
It's interesting.
It is interesting, and I'm still thrilled. Like I'm still thinking about that moment in my head over and over and over again. Ayahuasca, 5-MeO DMT, Ibogaine. I don't have an addiction per se. I don't think. I don't have anything that's debilitating me, but I still want to do Ibogaine, even though it's supposedly 24 to 48 hours of an experience, and then the last half of it's supposedly kind of miserable, and then they hit you with 5-MeO DMT.
I've heard.
Like,
Holy shit.
Yeah. You're having a hard time after the
24
crazy...
to 48 hour trip.
2 days. You should have like a week to do this, yeah. That's why I want you to do it with me. You want to do it with me? Dude, I want you to do it with me.
Let's talk about it. I mean, I might be down, bro, honestly.
I would set it up for you because, like, I think of anybody you would benefit more than I. But I can guarantee we both go through it, and then countless benefits. It's hard to explain. Let's get back over here real quick.
Do some research on it. Benefits from Ibogaine treatment.
Bingo. Yeah. And this is coming from the China AI. So, now, the way that it does this is interesting. It goes, thinking, the user is asking about reported benefits of Ibogaine treatments. This seems like, alright, blah, 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 blah. And it does a pretty good job of generating kind of quickly. As you can see over here on the excuse me, on the left, got many different conversations that I've been having with it. Many. Oh god, many. Oh god, many. Every single one of those is a different conversation.
Did you say the name of the AI?
It is DeepSeek. Yes, DeepSeek AI. Oh no, don't tell me the critical warnings and considerations. Rapid interruption of addiction and mitigation of withdrawal. This is the most well-documented and remarkable effect. Abrupt cessation of withdrawal symptoms, unlike methadone or
That's what I take. Yeah.
buprenorphine. Thank you. Which are substitution therapies. Ibogaine is reported to eliminate acute withdrawal symptoms from opioids, heroin, prescription painkillers, and significantly reduce cravings within hours. This reset can last for weeks or months, providing a critical window for recovery. Reduction of cravings for multiple substances. Reports and studies also show efficacy for stimulants, cocaine, methamphetamine, alcohol, and even nicotine.
Alcohol is crazy.
Yeah, that's an interesting and difficult one.
All of it.
And even nicotine.
Mhm.
And the effects seem to be broader than just opioid withdrawal.
Man, those withdrawals were hellish.
What do they look like? What's withdrawals like from fentanyl, an opioid, just in general?
Rough. Especially like I don't know many other people, but I had a few homies that I was living with that we were all doing it together and all tried to quit at the same time, and it was just not feasible. For me personally, it was cold sweats all the time, hot and warm, hot and warm. My mind felt like it was in a delirium. I was
Really hard to concentrate, or something like that.
My mind was just, it felt like it was tearing at itself. I don't know how to explain it, bro. It was rough. I had restless leg syndrome. I have one specific story where
like the kind where when you would try and sleep, your legs would also shake. James talked about that on the podcast too. He takes something for it.
Bro, I had this one story about one night where I had it so bad that I beat my legs until they were numb.
Oh,
just to try to go to sleep. Yeah, like I was withdrawing, and it's
that
rough,
sounds
bro.
rough.
It is, and it's been a minute. I've been sober for over a year or two, so almost 2 years.
Speaking of, I'm super curious about kind of how we met. Like, obviously, we kind of like have seen each other at work, and but really, like the first time you approached me is when you told me that you were like a month clean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that?
I probably did say that. Yeah.
That's like the real first time you approached me and talked to me. And that's like one of the first things that came out of your mouth. You were like, I'm a month clean from fentanyl. And I was like, what?
You just seem like one of those like open, accepting people that I can say anything to.
Like, you were right. You were right. I don't know how you figured that out, but you were right.
Intuition.
It still kind of blows me away. And that was what I was going to lead to, is like, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Why did I say that? Or why did it come up to you?
I mean, like, all of the above. Why did you, like...
Because you seem cool.
That seems like sensitive information. Like, you don't just tell that to anybody, and we haven't really talked much. Kind of passing.
I know it seems like a bombshell dropping on you like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I guess I was just proud of myself, bro. I was homeless. I was dealing with so much hell, bro. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I came up to you and just, I don't know why I said it. Caught me red-handed.
It's interesting. I am proud of you too, by the way. That's why I wanted you to be on the podcast, because that's like a true underdog moment. Like, I think I come back from being like fat. Now, I've had an interesting, struggling story, and some of it, not really much of it, has come out of the podcast, but doesn't.
Most people have a struggle story.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what I like about some people, is when they struggle with something and then they happen to come out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
They've got information. They have valuable information. Like, for example, what do you think, if you can recall anything, was something maybe that popped up in your head often that helped you coming out the other side?
Well, that branches in what I really wanted to say during this podcast is, for you people, y'all are not alone. Whether you're struggling through addiction or whatever, you are not alone. I care about you. Many other people care about you. You just have to seek help. That's really why I wanted to talk about this today. Is because I know there's people out there that are struggling like I did. And just know that you are not alone and that you are loved.
You do have to seek help. I think I literally said that. I may have even said that on the last episode. I think I said something along the lines of, and I could be wrong, where I was like, I probably am, but I may have said it before, something to the effect of where if you got an issue, you've got to. No, I don't think I have said this. So it's good that you're saying it.
What?
But yeah, the fact that like if you're having any of those problems, that you should seek help.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Don't be ashamed of it.
And yeah, don't be ashamed of it for sure, because like it's unbelievably hard. Like
yeah.
I can't even imagine how hard any of that must have been. But I do know how hard I had it during some of the shit that I was doing. And you've heard little bits and pieces. Extrapolate from those bits and pieces the worst possible outcomes. Like me stealing weed from my parents. Like that. I did that for like, I remember doing that for so many years that I literally thought to myself at one point, I wonder if I'm ever going to stop. I literally thought that. I was like, I wonder if I'm ever going to quit doing this. Or how can this, and I also thought like, how can this possibly, I could see that it wasn't sustainable, that it wasn't going to last. I was like, how could this possibly go on for X amount of years? And it did go on for many, many years, longer than I ever thought it possibly could. Like
what you just said,
I like surprised myself with that, and how hard it was to stop doing it, being a grubby little thief. Like it's difficult. It was so strange.
What you just said perfectly described it.
Yeah. It was like a goblin also lived in me. and the goblin was like, it wasn't just shiny things, it was like stinky things that you could put in a glass paraphernalia object and light it on fire, and it would make you feel like your perception of reality was warped. But it also made me incredibly paranoid, but it also made me kind of creative in some ways. You know, I always looked for a way to pick that lock or safe. And like whenever it got so crazy, where like my dad always kind of knew like that I was taking it, because he'd always be like, he could always tell that a little bit was missing, and I'd pinch it, you know what I mean? And I'd pick lock a safe, you know what I mean, and get in there and just pinch a little bit. But at some point, you know, he noticed, so what he would start to do is wrap tape around the safe. And all I did was like carefully peel the tape off, and then I would stick it to the wall very carefully, very lightly, touching it in small areas where it wouldn't like leave sticky on the other side of the tape. I was meticulous.
You learn how to lock tape for this?
with paper clips.
That's crazy.
And bobby pins, yeah.
That's awesome.
It was. I remember having a chat with him and talking to him about this stuff, and we were drinking, and it was great. Actually, it was pretty interesting. He was like, I think he said something along the lines of like, what was like the motivation to do all that, or something like that. And I was like, it was a heist. It was a heist. I was playing Grand Theft Auto, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, like, and watching Death Note. You know what Death Note is? That anime?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, like I was being fueled by all the things I was watching and doing to be like a ruthless, cunning thief. I was like, and it also
Dexterity 100.
Yes, dexterity and maybe a little bit, not very much, charisma.
I beg to differ.
Maybe now it's going up a little slowly, but it's been a very interesting situation dealing with all that, because also, you know, my environment wasn't that great. Things were rough.
Mm-hmm.
Things were going on with my parents, and it was a broken home and all that shit. So that's why I did all that shit. I created an interesting story for myself where I didn't want to die all the time. I was like, what's good about all this? I could be a really good thief. That's the most fun thing. And also, when I got away with it, which was a lot, often, all the time, it was super thrilling to get away with the score. You know what I mean? I got away with the loot, the dough. Yeah, I got in. I did a successful raid. That's why I love DayZ.
DayZ's a good game, bro.
DayZ's a great game. All those games where you can do shit like that, I love it. And always with DayZ, Lone Wolf, I'm cool with that. I'll go around on my own. I don't gotta play with other people. I'll go around and fucking, I'll stalk you. I'll stalk you for a couple days. Like, it's fun. I like watching you leave fucking rappers behind. Fucking, oh, you didn't need that? Okay, I need it.
I don't know if I want to play DayZ with you anymore.
Yes, man. I'm a creep. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
But that environment encouraged those things.
I hope the mic can hear me.
Yeah, most certainly. Most certainly. It's picking me up pretty well. Say something real quick.
Hello.
Yeah, we're good.
What were you saying?
My environment encouraged those things. Because if I had a healthy environment, and I'm not saying that they weren't loving parents, but if things were different, obviously different things would have happened. Whatever this thievery thing is, I think it's the yin-yang thing. It's the opposite of something else. It's a perverted version of a perhaps godlike given trait that I have. Does that make sense? Because if I could take thievery and turn it inside out, it wouldn't be a bad thing anymore. If I turn it inside,
Peter Pan. Who? I can't think of the name.
Okay, maybe we'll figure it out. But if I take like,
It's not Peter Pan.
so think thievery as like an idea, a concept, an action, a thing you can do, and a thing you could talk about, contemplate. You take that entire thing and you turn it inside out. What was once bad is now good. Well, it's like the opposite of thievery.
Given.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's something I think about doing a lot. I just can't. I sometimes let certain ideas and aspects get in my way. Like, I don't have enough money to give.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I can do.
Can help out.
Yeah. But
There's
there's,
go to a soup kitchen, like local,
or you can go to like a nearby town and clean up a little bit.
help out with the community, whatever you can give back. You know.
But yeah, and I think that's kind of what that is. So like when you think about a bad quality, someone has a bad quality to them. Whatever it is that's a bad quality about them, you can turn it inside out. Like that's all that's happened to me. That's all DMT did. It flipped everything on its head. It allowed me to back away from myself and see patterns that I was never able to perceive before about myself and how I was treating others and how treating myself affected others. How people cared about me so much when it didn't feel like they did, that I didn't realize how me treating myself a certain way also affected them because they cared about me. So when you see someone getting fatter and not treating themselves very well, you know what I mean? And living a certain kind of way, that affects them. And I realized that when I started losing weight and getting healthier, in my own eyes, in my own kind of story that I tell myself, to me, it's like the family was suffering because of me in some way, shape, or form. Now, it wasn't literally because things were going on with my parents. They have their own story and their own problems that they were dealing with. That it kind of led to maybe some area of neglect made those things arise out of me. I don't know. But regardless, all I'm trying to get at is that, like, shoot, kind of lost my train of thought.
You were just talking about your weight and family dynamic. You talking about how that curtails into what we were talking about?
No, they might be gone. It's okay. It's alright. But something about the no, it's really gone. Yeah.
That's okay.
Caw.
I thought it would happen first to me.
No, thank God it's the host, right? But yeah, I don't know. So, do you think that bad trip though that you had did any good for you whatsoever?
It's hard to say, honestly. It made me a little bit more aware of the power of psychedelics.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
See, when you tell me about that situation, you're like, I don't think I could ever do 8 again. That makes me think.
I mean, maybe one day.
Yeah.
When
I
I'm
think you can. Yeah,
when
I
I'm
think you could.
comfortable, and if I have a trip sitter,
You got to be in the right setting, and I think you and I could do it
and
together.
I wasn't. I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't in the right mindset or anything. Really.
You weren't in the right place in your life either. Like,
nothing.
that's another thing to think about. Like, you can have, like, your apartment can be clean, you can have your bills paid, your fridge can be stocked and all that shit. But if, like, it's not the right place in your life even, That could be a thing that when you start to trip really hard, it will come to the forefront of your mind, no matter how hard you've been trying to avoid that aspect, and it will completely destroy the trip. Especially if you can't reconcile that fact, if you can't let it happen, if you can't let it be shown to you. It's a hard thing to do, to let something be shown to you, because like that's when that's why I get a little nervous when I think about your first DMT experience. I'm not too nervous. I'm actually really excited because I know I have many ideas how to chaperone this experience in some kind of way, and I'm excited for it because as much. I was going to say this at the beginning of the podcast, and I trailed off somewhere, I think. I was going to say there's the you before the experience and the you after, and they're entirely different. So, and I know you know that with the sense when it comes to mushrooms, because the before you ever did it, and then after the first time, a whole world of a difference. You probably, I can imagine, will definitely believed in aliens after that, maybe. Possibly. Do you think that kind of thing changed it? Where were you at on aliens before mushrooms? Where were you at?
Good point. I had my own experience with aliens before my mushroom trip.
Yes. Okay, alright. You had an experience with aliens.
I told you this before.
I don't know. You may have. On the last podcast, I divulged an alien experience that I had coming home from work the other day.
Yeah, you didn't tell me about it.
No, I hadn't had a chance. Yeah, I only got to hear it. I only got to put it on the podcast.
You share yours, I share mine. Let's hear it.
Perfect. I did it as soon as I could, too. I was like, because I was driving home and I was like, what the fuck did I just see?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't super mind-blowing or anything like that. I saw 3 dots in the sky that looked like stars. And
the triangle? Is that what you're talking about?
It was a triangle, yes. It was 3 stars.
Interesting.
It was 3 stars. And they were moving like it was 1, 2, and then 3. They were moving like this. 2 here, 1 here. They're moving like this. And then they moved to form a line. 1, 2, 3. And as I was driving, I wasn't quite paying attention to it. I noticed it happen. But I wasn't paying attention to it because I was driving. And it was dark. And so I'm not really paying attention to it. I happen to notice that they're doing that. Then at some point I look up and they've all changed direction. They've all completely turned 180. They form a line and then they stop and they turn around and they start turning like this. And then they form a triangle and it makes a straight triangle. They weren't aligned at first, and then it makes a straight up triangle. And then the 3 stars that formed the triangle faded into nothing. It disappeared.
Yep. That's crazy.
Like, and I was convinced. I was dead set. I was like, I swear that was nothing I've ever seen before. That was fucking strange. I went home and I was like, Sweetie, you want to go outside and look at the stars? And I was telling her, I was like, I think I saw it also a few nights before that. I had a very strange experience at work. A very visceral image came to my mind. Same situation where I had visceral images come to my mind of this baby in a pink space with an umbilical cord, and then like a few days later my brother told me he's pregnant. This situation, I had visceral images come to my mind while I was working of an alien ship coming down and opening, and that's kind of all I remember, like a dream, like remembering a piece of a really, really vivid dream. I was like, hang on. Did I have an alien experience? It really felt like I had an alien encounter and I was purposely wiped of it. It felt like there's a memory that's just blocked off. Like I feel like I had an encounter, but I don't remember it.
You mean like a personal encounter?
Possibly. I feel like I had a ship.
Been probed?
I wouldn't care. Maybe it felt good. I don't care. Regardless, if they took something, hopefully it was cancer. You know?
It cancer.
Yeah, maybe they're like, God damn, look at this poor fucking.
They're gonna turn into a biological warfare weapon, bro.
My cancer is the cancer that's gonna kill the planet. They're gonna use it to kill the planet.
Shit.
They're gonna use my butthole cancer, dude.
Your butthole cancer?
I don't know if I have cancer. I'm just. But no, like I do. maybe it was just a really vivid dream that I am having a hard time remembering, but it was a clip of a vivid experience, like a 2-second vivid, perfect YouTube clip. And I don't know why it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know how I remembered it while I was working, because it does seem like I remembered it, not like I thought of it. Now, please lead into your experience. That's very strange, right? It feels like I remembered it, not like I thought of it. Like, there's no way. This thing came back to me, not come to me brand new. It was weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything like that. So
it's fucking. I'm now doing DMT. Who knows? I did it a lot. I'll surely do it a lot more in the future, along with other psychedelics. Who knows how they expand the mind, and who knows what they allow you to give access to? But possibly speaking and seeing of not even possibly. I saw, interacted, communicated with some version of, I think, myself. Definitely something. And it's inexplicably crazy how movie-like, how the best possible movie you can think of that just blows your mind, like Matrix for the first time or something, you know what I mean? That kind of passing through a portal that would make you just, it's indescribably insane. The type of, how the physics of that worked when I went through it. I'm gonna keep ranting. Your alien experience.
When you went through what?
A portal to see my future self.
Yeah. You brought that up in the last podcast, didn't you? Or you
in previous ones for sure. Yeah, it was like how like those certain fences that surround certain school grounds, it's the wire fence, that's the triangles. You can climb it kind of easy. Yeah. It was like the tunnel that I passed through into the place where this version of me was made up of a pattern that is the same as the chain link fence. It's the vertical diamonds, and as I'm passing through it, it's diamond shaped pattern all around me, and each individual little diamond fractal was, I think, a portal into another world. I was passing through a portal that was like a 5th dimensional plane of portals, and then ended up on the other side of a portal where a version of me was. And do you remember that time when I went over to your house and I did some DMT and I told you I'm planning on doing some DMT and trying to talk to a future version of myself and bring back some information?
You did say that. Yeah.
That was before I had that trip.
I didn't even link 2 and 2 together. That's crazy.
Yes. I didn't even mean to. I was just like, you know what? Tonight's night I'm gonna do quite a bit. And then that happened. And
yeah, that's
the
wild.
power of that chemical, of what's going on there, is beyond anything I can even try to explain. I said I was gonna do something, and it was kind of like a Hail Mary, like I never expected that to work.
Psychedelics are like aliens.
They are like aliens. And our interaction with them is alien.
Yeah.
As far as our most recent coming history of humankind is concerned, with it being scheduled the way that it is, it's alien to us. And the fact that I can say to you, I want to talk to a future version of myself that has got everything figured out and is in the best possible place, and I want to see if I can get some information from him to help me on my path to where he is. And then the next trip that I do, I see him, and all I can remember is that he smiled at me.
Good future in hand.
That's what I think. I said that on the podcast to James. I was like, I think what it is, and I've been thinking about it so much, because that beautiful tile background behind him, it's like a perfect mandala picture frame, and he was the centerpiece of it. And he's just smiling at me, wearing a black shirt, by the way. I'm pretty sure he's wearing a black shirt. Pretty sure of that. That's important, but yeah. And I think I've thought about it a lot, and I think what I told James, and what I think is the reigning supreme answer to my own consciousness on what that possibly could mean, is I have a lot of anxiety about the future and where I'm going to end up, if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm on a good path, if this podcast will have any kind of effect, if I'm making friends that will last a lifetime or not. And then he just smiles at me. He's like, dude, you're worrying over nothing. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're worrying over nothing. So it really helps with the anxiety. Whenever I'm like freaking out a little bit, I may get a little what some people would call Christian God. I don't say like, Jesus or anything like that. I'm just like, whenever shit's going wrong, I take it as a lesson. I don't get that upset. I'll get upset, if I lose some money, if I get conned, if I get scammed. That shit sucks. But I get over it almost inhumanly quickly.
That's a sign.
A day or two later, I'm like, God's just trying to tell me something. The universe is just trying to teach me a lesson that will last the rest of my life.
It's a sign of being an experienced person. Taking everything as a lesson, not it being detrimental at every step.
The lessons that DMT have been trying to give me are so complicated that I feel like life's easier to understand. Life's easier to understand in some ways because it's very right in your face when you've got to deal with those problems. Like, the bill's right there. What are you going to do? You got to go work. Like, if you need to pick up extra work, it's pick up extra work. But when DMT delivers you a profound... When I see that picture that I drew, that I showed you, the one that you... I think Michael... Thank you, by the way. When I think that's probably part of the... See, that's another thing when I think about my journey, my path, and shit like that, what I'm supposed to be doing. I have certain talents, right? You can tell that. You can see that. One of my talents is I can't shut the fuck up sometimes. Another one of my talents is I can draw really well. And another one of my happen to be a part of my journey spectacles is DMT and these visionary experiences. What's one of the things that I can draw together from all those things that I might be on this earth to try and help interpret the image of that side of things?
Make something out of it. And
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Very slowly.
At least you're doing it. That's a lot more than most people do.
Yeah, and I was at a place once in time when I was like 300 plus pounds where I was definitely like...
You look good, man.
Awesome weight. But I was sitting like probably at like 220 right now, and I was at like probably 310, 15, 20 max. So, and I don't really care that it's 220. I'll lose the weight.
You don't need to lose weight, man.
And muscle. Well, I'd like to at one point in my life get to that point where like I'm not carrying around the spare tire, and I get to see the abs on me, because I've been in places, I've been in places through exercise, mental states through exercise, where I've seen things.
Yeah, I've heard that working yourself
Really hard.
like runner's high. You
Mhm.
get high. It's a psychedelic experience.
I'm super curious about that one. I haven't personally experienced that one, but I had one experience where when I had applied for the job that we work for, when I first applied for that, I was so determined to get the job that I wanted to manifest it. I literally wanted to manifest it. So one of the ways that I tried to do that was when I went to the gym and worked out, I would get on the stair climbers. Lots of stairs. And at least that's what I want. And so, excuse me. So what I did was I decided I'm going to, and I just took it one day at a time, and I did it for 3 days in total. I was like, I decided I'm going to climb these stairs for an hour at this pace, whatever pace it was. I picked, I think it was 5 or 7 on the stair climb. I climbed in an hour, I think, 210 flights of stairs.
Well, when you do jiu-jitsu, right? That high you get, that's what it is.
The high you get from jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I enjoy the fuck out of jiu-jitsu.
Same thing, in my opinion.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't 200. Maybe it was 100.
Yeah, I used to run stairs for wrestling when I used to wrestle.
Wait a minute. You used to run stairs?
Yeah. A lot.
I'm spelling flights horribly wrong. 160. Maybe it was.
Flights.
Yeah, flights. But I think it was 200 actually. I'm pretty sure I did 200 flights of stairs
200 flights
in an hour, because it was taller than the tallest building, and I thought about that often. And I was trying to manifest getting that job. I wanted that job. I was like, I gotta get out of this fucking basement with dog piss running down the fucking stairs. I've got to get out of here.
So it was a maintenance job. What kind of job was it?
The job we work for now. I was playing.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, so you're practicing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I was like, I'm
Okay.
gonna get this fucking job.
Yeah. That's cool.
And so I climbed 200 flights. I made sure it said 200 on the stair count. So maybe it's different when it's coming to that shit. Good lord, I need to clear my throat. But so maybe it's different when it comes to like how the stair climber counts a stair and a flight of stairs to an actual building. But on the stair climber, I climbed 200 flights of stairs for 3 days in a row.
Good
And
lord.
during that time, I saw a vision of myself in a boxing ring. And I was covered in sweat, and I had red gloves on, and I was beating the fuck out of a motherfucker.
Let's
and-
box.
And that's also the kind of head state I was in too. I was like, I want to fight too. Like wherever what I was doing in the gym was kind of precursory to I also want to fight. That's like why I came up to this state. I left Arkansas because I was like, I know I want to do jiu-jitsu someday. And the jiu-jitsu place in town wouldn't fucking answer my calls. And on the days that on their website that they said
In
they were
Arkansas?
open, yeah. And then on the days on their website that they said they were open, I would go there and I would call them. I'd call them before I'd go, and then I'd go and they weren't open. And I did that a few times, and I was like, damn, I really want to go to this jiu-jitsu place. And then at some point, push came to shove with my job and other situations, and I put in my 2 weeks because I was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told Chelsea, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm putting in my 2 weeks and I'm going to figure it out.
I'm glad you came here.
I'm so glad I came here. This is the best fucking decision I've ever made in my life. Of all the decisions I could have ever made, man, just deciding to go do something crazy like I'm gonna move a few states away. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I've never done anything conceivably like that. The craziest thing I've done, according to the closest people, which would be like my family, is like probably literally shove things up my butt. So like to them they're like, and they probably never thought I'd leave the fucking bedroom. Like they thought I was gonna keep gaining weight, and then one day I have my fucking epiphany moment at work one day, and then I have a comeback. I divine intervention mixed with the right moment of where I had enough, and it was like some other ethereal force was like,
yeah,
he's never once looked at a motivational song or a clip or a motivational speech or anything. Let's throw him one right now.
That's what happened to me in my life, bro. Yeah, everything just came into place at the right time. It's crazy.
And then everything changed.
Yeah, through hard work, of course.
That too, yeah. I have recognized I gotta stop eating the way I'm eating. I've got to go to the gym. I'll walk if I have to. And I did it. I was like, I really don't care anymore.
There's a lot more hard work to be done.
Yes.
It is.
And I also recognize that the harder I go at it and the more weight that I lose, easier some parts of it would get, which would only embolden me to take on harder and harder tasks. And then I got here and started doing jiu-jitsu. Oh my god, that shit's so much fun. What?
I want to come join you.
We're gonna do
I
it.
think I'm ready.
You think you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've been thinking about. I think if I move a thing or two around in the budget, I can afford it. And I want to
Just whenever you're ready.
Just 1 day a week. I don't care. Just 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
Gotta start something. I want to get back in there.
I do too. Yeah, it's been a long time for me. I want to get back in there. I'll kick your ass.
You're gonna kick my ass, dude. I can't wait. It's so much fun,
Yeah.
dude. I think those people think I'm a freak.
You probably, yeah.
Because I'm in there, they're choking me out, and I'm laughing so hard. I'm
me
so
too.
excited. I'm having so much. I am so thrilled that I could have. I never imagined. I really never imagined that I would make any of these choices for myself and end up here. So the fact that I'm on a mat getting choked out,
yeah,
never could have possibly even dreamed. I never had a possible dream that I would ever be like, you know what? I do want to lose like 100 pounds and go just for fun, compete on a mat and start doing jiu-jitsu literally and seriously, just for the fun of it. And I'm like Poe in Kung Fu Panda.
I need to show
I'm
you.
being thrown around by Shifu, and these motherfuckers are like, he's laughing like it's a joke.
After,
And they almost put me out, and I'm like, that was fun. What did you fucking do? Like, how did you do that?
after this podcast, I want to show you some movies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. This is something. I watched an episode of something. It was a movie we watched. You never watched Maze Runner?
I think I have seen it. Yeah, I have seen it.
We watched the last movie, and you know Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen it, but I know Game of Thrones.
Okay, well, there's a character in Game of Thrones, Littlefinger. He plays the guy that plays in the movies. In the Maze Runner movies, he's the he's a male figure, short hair, and he's kind of like running the scene always in some kind of weird, nefarious way. Aside from the creepy older woman, if you remember any of that. But he's like the main
It's
bad
been a
guy.
minute.
And we just watched it, so old movie. But anyway, he's the main bad guy, and we were watching it, and he does the fucking choke. He whips out, and it gets into a intense fight scene with the main character, and then he whips out a fucking like I don't know. He grabs the collar, and then he whips around behind him, and he's got him like this. You know, he's got like his
Collar
arms,
choke?
yeah, like his collar choke. And as soon as he did, I got so excited. I was like, holy shit! Oh, he's got him! He's fucked! He's so screwed!
Yeah.
I was like, I was almost jumping out of the seat.
Mhm.
That was the most intense moment of the movie for me. Like, and we watched all
I know
movies.
that move.
Yes! I know that move! It was so silly, but I was like literally like freaking out because I was like, he's fucked. And I was like, it's been like 10 seconds. He should be dead. Like, you know. But
That's funny.
I love jiu-jitsu, and I also love that. This is why I think we're like friends from like other lifetimes and dimensions or some shit like
Could have
that.
been.
Could have been, dude. It is. Like, what are you talking about? You haven't done enough drugs, I think. Like, now you've overdosed, which is interesting. So it's kind of hard to say that you haven't done enough. But
You have no idea, brother.
you just haven't
I've
done what
my
I
fair
do. That's
share.
all, right? You've done your fair share. That's for sure. Hell yeah, you can say that. You're allowed to say that. But it's just interesting. I think I was talking to Trinity earlier, and we were expounding on something about you before we had picked you up, and what was it? I think it was something to do with the psychedelic realm. Don't remember now. I think it was anyway. In terms of psychedelics, you're obviously curious in doing other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be down.
48 hours.
We'd have to set
We would set it up. I would set it
that.
up.
And have to get ready.
Yeah. When it comes to that too, we're going somewhere to do that. That's not going to be like, just let me handle it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I have no idea. But I'm super excited because what I heard explained. It's pretty crazy. The longest possible experience. But it's so drawn out, which I think
Yeah.
makes it really easy to absorb and understand. Whereas when DMT, it's like getting on a roller
15
coaster.
minute. Yeah.
It's a roller coaster. It really is like, and also it's a 15-minute experience, roughly longest, yes. But obviously time is warped, so it doesn't feel like time is passing or taking place.
Mm.
And also, you take off instantly. Like, as the breath and the cloud of DMT is leaving your lungs and you see it filling the air and space in front of you, it comes in behind you and takes the place of where your lungs were empty. Like, you breathe out air and at the same time breathe in the experience.
Mm-hmm.
With your exhale comes the experience. Exhale, experience. At the same time. It is so fast.
It comes when you release your breath.
Yeah, you hold it for 7 seconds. You're tripping balls.
Valleys of waterfall.
The immediately the walls start moving like water. And if it really hits you intensely, who knows what exactly will happen? So many different things have happened to me. The walls turn into like many different little spirals, like a million different vortexes form on the wall, and it gets too intense to look at. That was like the first time I ever did so much. and it was too intense to look at. And I remember feeling this pain rise up through my spine and right up into the right here. And then I turned and threw up on the floor.
I get like when I do shrooms, I get like a spinal, like I can feel it in my spine.
At that time, I did too much. I did way too much that time too. It was the last of it, and I was like, "Fuck it, it's more than I've ever done." But fuck it. I was like, "Let's go. Let's see what happens." And I did it, and it got super intense really fast, and then I threw up. I felt this pain rise up into the back of my neck, and I threw up. And I was like, "What do you expect?" Should have been more respectful. That's what I felt like.
For the finale of this, we need to talk about my alien experience.
Yes, let's get into that right now.
Well, it's whenever you're ready.
An hour. We're doing good.
An hour?
We're an hour and 5 minutes. Yeah.
Crazy.
Great.
Time goes past, bro.
Yeah, we're doing great. You feel comfortable now? Is this going well for you?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah. This is great. This is.
You
fun.
made it comfy. Got me drink.
Yeah. I wanted to have a good time. Make it easy. You know what I mean? And also, you're welcome. Thank you. It doesn't have to be long.
And thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
I love my community. Don't even know who they are. One person. I can see one subscriber. One subscriber has a picture and a name. Can you guess who that is?
Who? Me?
I want you to take one guess. No.
I'm
not
subscribed.
You. Unfortunately, I can't see
I'm
your name
pretty
or your
sure.
face. You probably are.
Yeah,
I believe it. But
on which platform?
YouTube.
I should be.
Yeah. Well, if I pulled it up right now, I think it might only show one person, but other than you, unfortunately, I don't see you pop up, but I believe that you're there. Do you have another guess?
Another guest to bring on?
No, another guess of who that might be.
No.
My mom.
Your mom.
This is the only person that pops
be one
up.
of my guesses. But...
Yeah. This is the only person that pops up when I look at, like, who are my subscribers. She's the only one that pops up where I can see who's actually, like, a registered channel, I guess. Maybe that's what's up.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. I like to say sponsored by Mom Insurance. Sponsored by Mom Insurance. If you don't have Mom Insurance, I don't know what you're doing, but Mom Insurance is fantastic. I wouldn't be able to do this podcast without Mom Insurance. Sponsored by Mom Insurance. 1-800-MOM Insurance. Anyway, this has been so much fun. This is why I like this too, is because I would say usually, mostly, it's like 90%, 85% that we have really good conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I expect to make anything from this or for it to turn into anything, but I feel like that there is something drawing me to do it. Like,
you need to share your story, brother. You need to share your message. You have a message.
I don't even really know what it is. Take more drugs, take less drugs. I don't know. It's maybe not take more drugs, but there is something important about drugs, and
it's the Third Eye Podcast.
It's the Third Eye Podcast. It's the Third Eye Podcast. Oh. We're here to do something for a reason, and that's talk about usually things related to the third eye, which is many different things. Many different psychedelics. Blue Lotus is interesting. Amanita muscaria, that's interesting. Psychedelics. Penis envy. Jedi mindfuck. All these different mushrooms. There's edible ones. There's gourmet ones. We can have them for lunch. I could go cook up some oyster mushroom, but I can't have a fucking penis envy. I can't have something that looks like a dick. All right.
Penis envy is a crazy name.
It is a crazy name. Jedi mindfuck is a crazy name. Golden Teacher is a crazy name. They're all interesting names.
I had these shrooms that had a blue stem. It was beautiful. It was absolutely
blue as fuck.
Like elephant something, I think.
Elephant something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's talk about your aliens. What kind of aliens did you see? Did you see the grays? Did you see the tall whites?
This was back in 2016, and I was in high school.
That's recent. To me, it feels recent.
It does feel recent. Time goes by.
Yeah, well, we're in 2020.
10 years ago. This was 10 years ago.
Are we? We're in 2026. Yeah, 10 years ago.
26, brother.
10 years ago.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year's, everyone. A decade ago, right?
This is a decade ago.
Okay.
So I was in high school, and of course I was with my ex at the time, and so there was a park right next to our house, right? And we went down to the park just to hang out, and it was at nighttime. We shouldn't have been there, but we went anyway. And we decided to lay down on the basketball court for some reason. And we laid down. We were looking up at the stars. We were stargazing. And she, at one point, points up at the sky and says, "You see that star up there? It's moving weird." And I look up, And after like a few seconds, I see it, right? Because it's obvious. The star is zigzagging through the fucking sky. Like it's jumping. Not like a drone, not like a plane. It's jumping. It's jumping through the sky, zigzagging all the way down to the horizon. Like I sit up at this point once it hits the horizon, because I'm like, what is this?
Genuinely perplexed.
Yeah, I like, what am I looking at?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a drone. And it hits the horizon just above the trees, and I sit up, and the starburst, the lights. You know when you look at a night light, how like the light kind of shines, it has light rays coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The light rays from it looked like a star at first. The light rays started to grow, as if it was coming towards me. And it continued to do that. There was no sound, no nothing. Keep in mind, this thing zigzagged through the sky from the top of us all the way down to the horizon, and it started growing brighter and brighter and brighter as if it was coming towards us. My fight or flight kicked in, and I stood up and ran for my life.
You ran?
I ran, yeah.
This really happened.
This, I swear to God, yeah.
Like
I left
these
her
light
behind.
beams were stretching out towards you, basically?
Yeah, like when you get closer and closer to a light at night, how the light
Like if you have kind of like an
grows.
astigmatism with glasses and whatnot?
Yeah, how it kind
how
of
it, like-
grows, the light grows.
Yeah.
It was doing that. It was
It was
coming
getting
towards
close
us.
to you.
Yeah, it was coming towards us.
You ran.
I ran for my life and didn't look back. I wish now that I had and taken a video of it, but I didn't.
You felt like something was coming, though, for you. It was coming
I saw
to
it.
you.
I saw it with my own two eyes. It was coming towards me. It was
What happened to the girl?
I left her behind.
What happened to the girl?
She
Is she alive?
she caught up with me, but she's like, why'd you leave?
Oh, we're good. Are you alright?
My bad.
Oh, you're good. Why'd you leave me? What?
She was like, why'd you leave me behind? It's like, my fight or flight kicked in, bro. That was terrifying. And now I
Did
wish
she
I
see
would.
more than you? Did she say anything about
No, she ran too. She ran too.
Oh,
'Cause,
fuck.
like, it was. I don't know what it was. Like, I've never seen anything like that move like that through the sky before.
Also, when you said that, you reminded me of a piece of that thing that I was telling you about, where I feel like a memory, but not like anything else. I remembered something else when you were describing something. I remember, yes, that I looked at something that looked like a cloud. It looked like a cloud at first. Whatever this thing was,
Mm-hmm.
this experience
The
that
triangle?
no, not the triangle. Maybe it's related to the triangle. I don't know, but this is a separate time.
Okay.
This is a thing where I'm telling you, like, I feel like I remember something had happened to me, but it's been erased.
Oh,
That
okay.
event is separate from the triangle, maybe related.
Yeah.
Where,
Who knows?
in the sense, yeah, who knows? In the sense that, whatever this experience was that I feel like I remember, I also vividly remember that I looked at something that looked like a cloud. It was a very strange cloud, and I was like, and what reminded me of it is that part where you said you like stood up by this point when it had zigzagged down to the horizon
Freaked me
and
out.
the lights, and then you said by that point you were like standing up
I
or
was
something.
running.
Yeah. By the time before the lights come in, and then you ran, or were you
The
just
lights-
fucking running?
No,
by the time the shit was happening.
the lights were growing, and it got to a point that like this thing is coming at me,
Yeah.
and I started to run because I didn't know what it was.
When did you stand up? Do you remember exactly when you stood
the
up?
lights got so big that I realized that it was coming for me.
That what you described it, that moment where you stood up, something clicked in my head, and it made me remember that because it's that moment of when you realize.
I was also in high school, and I'm autistic, so
Well,
like,
I don't think that accounts for
it doesn't
too much out of the
It's not
ordinary.
delusion.
No,
I'm just saying, like,
I think you're rather
I got the
rational.
fuck out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
something kicked in, and you're like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I trust those instincts. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's an instinct to that memory that you jogged me of a little bit.
It wasn't.
It was an instinct of, what the fuck am I looking at? That doesn't look like a cloud anymore. And that's when I remembered a little clip of a section more where it felt like it was down in front of me and this fucking thing was gonna open. And I don't remember it opening, but I feel like a thing was gonna. I feel like a thing was gonna open. I don't remember it open, but why would it be there in front of me? Like, what's it? It looked like a cloud. I
That's
don't know.
horrifying.
It makes me feel really weird
Awesome
and emotional
at
to
the same
remember
time.
it too.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
something fucking maybe happened to me, or maybe I had a crazy dream. Who knows? She had a horrifying dream last night at 3 in the morning. So this morning, and when she was recalling it to me, it was so strange. She was having a horrible nightmare, and like someone very close to her, like one of her brothers, had sustained an injury and was bleeding a lot in a dream.
Okay.
And she's at the peak of the stress of this dream. She's like screaming at him, and she also told me that she's never been able to scream in a dream before, but this time she was able to.
I hate dreams.
And she said it convinced her that it was more real.
Yep.
Because she was able to do that.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Feel your
she could feel. Yeah. Oh, God.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I've had only like one dream like that, and when I woke up from it, I had to write it down. And I call it with the belts, because it was a dream where I was in this fucking hospital, and I was like a worker that had scrubs on, and I was pushing a metal cart, and I'm passing through this hallway, and there's these doors, lining the hallway on both sides, and then I hear this horrendous, massive destruction in a room a couple doors down the hallway. Like, just this room has been destroyed. I hear it being annihilated by someone. And then I go in, and I go up to the door, and I open it, and then the room is destroyed, covered in a black mess, like fingerprints black all over the wall. And then there's this woman on like the stretcher bed or whatever the fuck. It's like, 8 feet off the ground, one of those fucking things that you can also lay back on, like at a dentist office or something, or a doctor's office. And she's on the edge of it, on her knees, reaching out, black fingers, and she's going, with the belts, with the belts, with the belts, with the belts, with the belts. She's begging me to tie her down. And I understood that somehow. She's begging me to tie her down with the straps on the chairs, on the layback chair. So I lay her back, and I'm like, okay. And I strap her arms down, and then when I go to strap her feet in, she starts screaming so loud that my ears are starting to ring just remembering it. That she starts screaming so loud that it starts causing me pain. Like, I can't hear it. It's making. I'm trying to cover my ears, but I can still hear it. And it flies me into a rage, and I start beating the shit out of her. And then I wake up.
Yeah.
That's the only dream I've ever had. Like, so she's having a horrible nightmare, one of those kinds of nightmares, where she's in it. And at the crux, at the fucking crucifixion of her dream, the crucifixion moment, the window falls and slams the top window, because you can open the top and it's kind of broken. Both latches were shut. I put the window up and latched both of them. And then at the crux of her nightmare, the window falls. And it wakes us both up. And she's immediately awake, and then she covers herself. She goes to a full panic. She freaks out. She's still dreaming in her wakeness. She tells me, I still feel like I'm dreaming. And she felt like she never left the dream.
Do you feel like there are entities in here?
I had to sage.
Yeah.
To go back to sleep.
Yeah, that's what happened.
For us to go back to sleep, we had to sage.
That's what happened at our old house.
I'm shaking just remembering it.
We had to sage our old house. Yeah.
It was freaky. And it was really scary. And when she was relaying it to me too, because like I was like telling her it was okay and whatnot, she was freaked out, and she was making the space like she was going to cry, but she didn't cry. At some point I said the right thing and kind of pushed her over the edge, because she had to cry to get this out. And when she started crying, she started screaming. She was screaming parts of the dream that she was remembering like she was still there. And it was like sending a chill down my... I've never been more freaked out. I was freaked out. And it's got me thinking. What the fuck happened with the window? Why did that happen at that moment? Because in the dream, she was maximal terror. Yeah. And then the window falls. And we both wake up. What the fuck?
I had a similar dream to that at the old house we lived in. And I felt like it was a warning from something residing in the house. That's how I felt. Like, the dream was too realistic. It was too real. The fear I felt was so real. It felt like something in the house was warning us. I don't know.
Did you listen? We are being summoned.
What the hell is that?
She's got a bell. She's got a crystal glass bell.
Okay.
Wrapping soon, she says.
I was gonna say on the next podcast that I come on, I want to talk about my ghost experience.
Yes, fuck
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I've had. I'll wrap it up with this because it's so short.
We don't need to end now, but if you want to,
No, we probably should. It's we're at almost an hour and 20 minutes. This is a good little first start for us because you'll be on here so much more. And
thank you guys for joining us.
this is fantastic. The Third Eye Podcast, guest number 2.
The Third Eye.
The Third Eye Podcast. Oh.
Maybe next time I can do my Mongolian throat singing for us.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I think I've only had one ghost experience, and it was when I was really young, and I was in like grade school, kindergarten, some shit like that. I was at the back of a lunch line, and something the back of a lunch line. I was at the end of the lunch line.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one behind me, nothing behind me, no tables, no chairs, no nothing. I was at the end of the line, and I felt something grab my shoulder from behind, a right hand for sure. It was a grip. It was like a firm grip you would like give your son.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like proud of you or some shit?
You really felt it.
Yeah, something grabbed me and I turned around. Nothing there.
Hmm.
Next time on the Third Eye Podcast,
Thank you,
Skyler's ghost story. All right.
Love you guys.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with my friend. Maybe next time you'll leave a like. That would be kind of cool. You know, I'm desperate for likes. I have so much desperation for attention. I'm just kidding. Thank you. Thank you again for watching. There will be many more with Skyler. He's a great guy. He's got lots to tell. I gotta have better quality for the next one. But anyway, do your thing, everybody. Enjoy.